I don't want to live by fear. So if something makes my stomach tight, I'm going to do it. Because it sounds like I need to do it, so I'm not afraid.
Welcome to QNW Quarantine Network. My name is OG. You know, I got my team, got my guys, got Mirage Beats, got Charlie Pockets, and we got our special guest, Brianna Knight. You know, Brianna.
Hey.
So I'm gonna go back to when I first met you. Was on the How You Feeling challenge.
Yeah.
This is back when I had like shorter black hair, like my hair wasn't dyed or nothing. You know, I was just on TikTok. You know, this is when I first really started getting into TikTok more heavy. And I seen that you was having a challenge, a How You Feeling challenge. I was just like, you know, I really don't do challenges, but for some reason, I'm gonna just do this one. So I'm at my desk. I wrote some stuff and then I did it. And then you was like, I'm gonna pick, you know, 3 artists or something like that. And I was one of the artists you picked. And I was like, hey, you know what I'm saying? I want to know, like, what made you pick me? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
okay, the fact that you have to ask that is absurd to me. But no, you were in heat. You were in heat. And it's crazy because I asked a couple of my friends. They're like, yeah, I'll do the challenge. And it's like, one, the fact that you gave the energy to do it. Because I know a lot of people will say they'll do something and then they don't. And then 2, I had already seen your previous work, so I was interested to see how you would do this because I've never seen you rap over a drill beat. So I was like, I know you're about to. It's just, I don't know. First off, it's your cadence because shout out to Texas. All right, period. That already catches everybody already. Just the Texas cadence, and then 2, just the way that your delivery, the way that you're passionate. And it was only 20 seconds, 30 seconds. You're already really engaged. It's like you take over a space, and it was only virtual. And then we get to the bars. You see how I had to go through the different layers of why? Yeah.
Like I know what I did, what I had to do, you know, but I feel like if it wasn't for me doing that challenge, we wouldn't be here today. You dig what I'm saying? Because I didn't know you from Adam. You know what I'm saying? But that's the power of social media. But fast forward, you know, you've been doing a lot of cool stuff, man. You know,
Thank you.
You know, we definitely want to know, you know, what made you get into music in the first place?
Yeah. So, dang, I'm about to have the cliche story, but I've been singing since I was in the womb. In fact, my mother's favorite thing to say is that I was singing before I spoke. I was delayed with my speech, but she would always catch me humming. And I was in key, because you know how little kids, they try to hum something, you like, good job, yay. It wasn't anything like that. It wasn't anything like that. She was like, dang, this little girl can sing. And then throughout school, I did talent shows, I did musicals. I was a church girl, so I did church contests. I started showing like original content. Once I started going, right? Listen, the church musicians, there is nothing like us. Okay, I'm full evidence. I went to a white church. I didn't even go to a black church, y'all. That's crazy, right? Right? They taught me how to do choir, and I was like, wow, this is very weird. That's a weird origin story. But like, oh no, I learned a whole bunch. Once I got to college, I started really taking it seriously. I know that one of my mentors, Stacy Tiro, she was like my musical director and my vocal coach from the time I was like 7 years old to like I was 18. He was just like, I really think that you should study music. You should really take it serious. You could do it. And I was like, I don't know about that. Mind you, I'm sitting here working 2 jobs, going to class, still going like to the Apollo and picking up gigs with my friends, going back and forth from the city. So it's always been a thing. And it was like, I guess, once I started truly picking up my guitar and showing people what I had, that's when I was like, I really want to do this for real. And then I took a bunch of internships, shout out to like my crew, Urban Lyrics, and I started like learning. And it was funny because it was a team of poets. I'm initially a poet for like songwriting and then got into songwriting and stuff. And I remember the whole team was full of rappers and poets. And I'm one of the few, like the 2 singers on the team. And so they were like, you got to figure out how you mesh with us and how you do that. And I learned a lot from them, whether it's like, if you decide to step into a hip hop bracket, how you could blend that with R&B and neo soul and how you could still be able to sing, but still tell a story. And that's where I got to where I'm at right now. Just a mix of everything put together. Yeah.
I think that's
interesting. So guitar was the first instrument you picked up?
No, I actually grew up playing the violin, and then I switched over to guitar.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, that's one of my favorite instruments.
So
I love listening. Like any beat that has violins, I'm on it.
They're so good. I love orchestral stuff, especially live. Oh, I forgot which rapper decided to use an orchestra. I don't know if it was with the Philharmonic, but he was dope. I'll gladly send that to y'all next time. I can't remember
not only rappers. Metallica, they actually did a rock concert with San Francisco orchestra. So, that was one of the best shows that I ever saw from them.
Wow, that's nice. I like that. Beautiful.
Let's talk about Brooklyn. You know, is that the borough that you're from? Is that where you're from? Is Brooklyn?
No, even though. So I've gotten into fights over this. I am not from Brooklyn. I am from upstate New York, but I've gone back and forth for most of my life to go see my grandmother in Brooklyn. And also, I guess what happened when I went to college, I connected with a lot of Brooklynites. So I was able to kind of figure out some of the scene over there and like who to contact for if I want to do stuff or if I want to do venues. I'm still learning now because Brooklyn is so big. But yeah.
Word.
I just wanted to add something. Shout out to Brianna because she's doing lives explaining people how to make PROs. We still see a lot of independent artists struggling with that. And sometimes I'm watching her lives. She's singing, she's playing the guitar, but also she's sharing a lot of good information for the new artists.
Yeah, I feel like Song Sessions has morphed into this like mini thing of just talking about life and how you can navigate as a musician. I find, even for example, I was reading about the song from Beyonce, If I Were a Boy. The songwriter, right? It's this lady, this white lady, and she usually writes for herself. She never writes for other artists. She was with this guy, his name is Gad, can't remember the last name. And they just said they had written 11 songs. None of them were hitting, per usual for every songwriter. And she's walking through Times Square. She's like, dang, I wish I were a boy. I could eat all the pizza I want. Nobody would care. And then her co-writer was like, wait, I like that. Can you expand on that? And I feel like a lot of songwriting, and it's crazy because her having this genuine feeling, her spilling out her genuine feelings with a little bit of repetition, it ended up being a hit. So it's only like somebody could give you the formula on how to make a song. But truly, when we have these open conversations about how you could get there through actually living life and give you the foundations, anybody can write stuff. So yeah, while I'm just, sometimes I'll casually be at dinner with people and just be giving them advice, whether it applies to life, whatever career. You could be a teacher, you could be a songwriter, all of it kind of interacts and overlaps with each other. So yeah.
That's true. Let's talk about So Deep. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to, surpassing 1 million streams. I think that's a big feat, especially for an independent artist, you know what I'm saying? Doing it off the strength. What are some of the highlights of, what are some of the highlights of you dropping So Deep, and how has it impacted your fans and the people that you and the people around you and stuff?
Yeah, so I go through a recent win. I decided to go on a whim. I saw a lot of artists, they post like 3 sentences in front of like a video of them using their sound, their songs. And I was like, I'll try it, whatever. So I said day one of me trying to get people to use this song. And now we're at like almost 50K views and 500 people that I didn't have to ask using the sound. We went from, because I got playlisted, which is another win that I got. And I was like, oh my God, this is my first real release. And they playlisted me. Mind you, in an R&B playlist that they barely touch. So I'm basically on there for however long I'd like to be. And
that's good,
yeah, I went from like, let's say 3,000 streams a day to me just posting that thing on TikTok and went to 4,000, 5,000. Like just from new people finding it and vibing with it. I got people on TikTok that I've been noticing who've been coming up who like found the song and trying to interact with me. So that's been the recent wins. Of other stuff, a couple months ago, I got featured by Vibe magazine. It's like top 10 R&B songs of the year. And I was like, this is crazy. Cool. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. I had that. I got featured by Ear Milk. I've gotten contacts for whether it's been features, like, or I got commissioned to do like a whole mini project for like a school. And I was like, this is kind
Oh
of
wow.
cool. Yeah. And they paid me to go back and forth. It was only in Pennsylvania, but they paid me to go back and forth with them and like going to the studio. They paid for like the music video stuff. And I was like, wow, this is awesome.
How did someone from the school reached out to you like that?
Yes, because they found me on like the playlist, and they're not the only people who reached out. I've had different PR companies hit me up. A PR company that worked with Lizzo. I got a reference from somebody who put me on to a guy who works at BET who puts people's music videos on there. So like, I just got a whole like.
It's not Chris Bivens, is it?
No.
Okay.
Nah. It's like I just got contacted by people. I was like, oh wow, like this French press company that's invite only hit my email, was like, they covered Lizzo, I think we did Jennifer Lopez, a bunch of other people. They're like, you know what? You don't even have to set up a meeting. Just let us know when you're ready. And I was like,
wow.
Oh my God. On the song, I don't even think it hit like 500K at that point. It was just a lot of A&Rs and people just trying to reach out to do stuff. So yeah.
That's dope.
That's crazy. That's awesome.
Your song Strength to Love, is that one? That's one of your newer songs, right?
Yeah, that was the one I was commissioned for. I didn't really like push it as much just because I was going through things, but it's a really good song. I'm thinking of bringing it on TikTok and seeing how much I could push it. But yeah, that was fun. They had a whole live band for that, and that was fun. That was really
That's
fun.
cool. That's cool. Yeah, I was listening. I really like that song. It's I tell you what, I'm one of those people that doesn't really like long intros, but you know that kind of varies on like the genre, what type of song it is. But like a minute and 4 seconds hit, and the beat picks up, because at first you're like, all right, it's a little low key, then it starts picking up at like a minute, and like your buddy Cam the artist, Cam the artisan.
Yes, Cam the artisan.
Yeah. He did it. His verse was nice. I like his verse was on there, was nice. But overall, the song, I really like that song. It, like I said, it started off a little slow, but it picked up for me, and I was like, oh, all right, I'm rocking with this. Like,
yes, no, it was. It's a good track.
A good song. You got a beautiful voice. It's a good song.
Thank you. A lot of producers end up liking the song more than other people. Like, they're actually the first people that tell me about it because it was a live band. It was a live band. Yeah. That's,
if you can use live instruments in your music, I think that's better than just, going on the program, going on Logic, and you know what I mean? Like, if you can actually get the instrument played live, like, I think that's, I don't know. It's just a whole nother, it's like another level. Like, you're doing more than you could easily skate by, just making beats. But like when you introduce that live, people might not pick up on it as easily, and, depending on, if you know anything about program or producing or engineering. But it's just an added detail that I think, brings something else to the song, that people, might not know, but if people behind the scenes, I don't know. I just appreciate the live instruments.
It's different because you can feel the organic vibe. When you play something like, don't get me wrong, people are using a software. You can have everything laid on tempo, and when it's organic, there's no tempo. There is the feeling and the vibe and the emotion and all of that. So let's say if you have something hitting anytime, every tempo, and there is something that is like not in tempo, is a little after or a little before the tempo, and that brings all that organic vibe.
Yeah, no, it's the truth. That's why sometimes I like it when producers walk up to me and they're like, I actually like that. Then I know I did something right.
Right.
I know I did something right if the producer really messes with it. Because producers, I feel like everybody we make it a loop. Like, all right, okay, boop, here we go. But when you have something that catches a producer's ear, it's really good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for real. I know that for fact.
Yeah.
Check this out, Brianna. I was, Last week we had Salachi Baz on. She's a Bay Area gospel MC, super spitter. She was talking about relationships are more important than currency. I think when you're doing what you're doing right now, you're not doing this alone. You know what I'm saying? You have a team, a team of people that believe in your craft as much as you do. What is the importance of having a team around you, and how has it benefited you?
Well, when I was doing So Deep, I was beat down. I was already going through a lot of stuff, but it was honestly like people would be like, "Hey, do you want me to talk to my friend to get them to like post your song?" Or it'd be like people doing the simplest thing of like my close friend, like Jimmy, who helped out with the music video. He was like, "Hey, we gotta do something. Like, I'll help you out, whatever it is." He stepped in. My own partner, like, he pulled up and he was like, "Hey, babe, do you want me to like repost?" I sent it to all my guys. Like, what do you want to do? It just be those simple things. Because a lot of the time it's a team of one. But really, it's those people that reach out and they're like, "Hey, I have a contact for you. Would you like to use them?" It helps out so much because when you're the musician, you can only think this way. It's hard for you to like keep everything on. Like you just have your blinders. You're just going straight. So it's nice when people hit me up. I got hit up the other day. My friend's like, "Hey, do you need some fresh for your new release?" I was like, "God bless." I'm sitting here trying to make the list of who I'm going to hit up now. Thank you very much. Or some people just listening to the songs, listening to the mix. That's a big thing to me. Like having other people be like, "Does this sound professional?" Because you could pay somebody to mix your song. It does not mean that it's radio ready. It could sound ready to everybody else, but if it's not ready for the radio, it becomes a problem if you're trying to reach to a wider audience, especially if you're trying to present yourself on radio. College radio, you can post anything. They don't really care. But like regular radio, like Hot 97 type stuff in New York, you actually have to have your stuff mixed properly. So I very much rely on other people to let me know like what they hear. Sometimes the writing process, but sometimes I'm on like my Kanye stuff, which very much like I have to bet on me. And if you mess with it, you're going to mess with it. And if you don't, you don't. We'll figure it out. Just because I remember when I first did So Deep, I presented it to one friend and he was like, "I don't like it. I feel like it's dull." And I was like, "All right, well, that's you. I'm going to post this song." And it's no shade. Because again, if you have something that's for you and you have the intention, like you just have to push. So yes, most of the time a team is wonderful. But sometimes when you have a vision, sometimes that vision is best kept to yourself and you have to craft it. Kind of like you come in with the case to prove. And once it's proven, everybody's ready to go. But I already have my people who are like, "I'll help you push no matter what." But definitely when you have like, "No, this is the proven thing, that this is it right here." They're like, "Yeah, right, okay, I'll go on the extra limb." So I always have those first people who are like, they're down for whatever and they reach out whenever they can. So yes, a team is 100% important, including like emotional support too. Because when you're a team of one, that's a lot to bear, especially when you're working 9 to 5. Let's say I was having family issues. I was having housing issues. Like I'm sitting here trying to push a song, smiling on IG like, "Hey, everybody, don't nobody want to do that." Because it's not real. It's not reflective of where you're at. You have this beautiful love song and you're going through like emotional turmoil. Like it's not a reflection versus I had people every day sending me like prayers, like people calling me while I'm crying at work and like people just telling me like, "Hey, like I'm here. You want to talk?" Or even when I was just very quiet on social media, people hitting me up, giving me calls, visiting me, literally pulling up on me when I'm just trying to arrange my life, being like, "We're going out to eat." I'm like, "Oh, all right, okay." Those things contribute to the process because without that, I wouldn't be up and running right now. So definitely having both your music team, your music community, and also just having like your family, the true people that reach out to you. Like if you didn't have the music, you didn't have the voice, they'd still be there kind of people. They're also very essential.
Yeah.
That's well said. Well said.
All right. So you hit it on the T. And plus, I just feel like being a musician as well, some days are better than others. But I feel like, you just gotta put your emotions out there sometimes, and because that's what the people want to see. People, you ain't always gonna be smiling. They ain't always gonna be sunshine and rainbows. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like you've been handling that pretty well, Brianna. Like, there's ups and there's downs in this music life. You know what I'm saying? It's just how you interpret things. You know what I'm saying? You can either look at the glass half empty or you can look at the situation, or like you can look at the situation half empty, at the glass half empty or half full. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just the way you interpret things.
Yeah.
An artist is being an artist is like it's a day that you're gonna find everything. You're gonna find the storm. You're gonna find the heat. You're gonna find everything. And last week we were blessed having Solachi, and this week we are blessed to having you and watching your career growing since we met, and having you on the phone saying, "Hey Mo, I didn't forget you, but I have this commercial." Yeah, so this is the type of stuff that we have on that journey, and for that, congrats, honestly. And tell us more about that commercial.
Oh my goodness, yeah. So while the song was blowing up, that's why I said a team. She's both emotional and a wonderful just business person as well. She was like, "Hey, I worked with this production company. They need somebody to write a jingle. I know you do that. You want to do it?" I'm like, "Duh, you don't even have to ask. What is that about? Just send the contact." That was really fun because I write jingles just for fun. Like if you told me to make a song about a toilet right now, I'd do it and we'd all be laughing. But like it's the fact that they were like, "Yo, can you make this for real?" I was like, oh, all right. Like back and forth phone calls, being presented with my first like laid out commercial contract. That was really dope. And it was fun because double the money because they were like, "We want you to sing a jingle and we also want you to star in the commercial." So it was like, oh, people get to see my face. Because when you think about jingle writers, they never show their face. They just get the money for what they wrote and that's it. So it was like, oh, you want my face? All right. That's when I was also working my 9 to 5. So it was like, they were like, "Yeah, can you take off Wednesday, Thursday and just come in?" I'm like, no. I have to pull up to my consistent job. They're looking at me like I'm stupid because they're like, "We're paying you money." I'm like, I know, I kind of have to like have a little bit in advance. They gave me the freedom to work on it. We went back and forth. I learned a lot just about like, you know how sometimes songwriters are like, "I'm not going to mention their name in a song. That's too much. That's bringing too much heat." Imagine that corporate. Like they're like, "You can't say that because technically we're not that." Or "You can't sing that like that because then it mimics that." You're like, oh, okay. So it was a lot of stuff like technical, a lot of legal things that I learned. I got to be on set, which was awesome. I was like, oh, this is how people live. You have people walk around like, "Hey, do you need a coffee? Do you want some chips? Do you want a burger? Do you need to rest? Do you need to?" That was crazy. And it'd be about like a 10-hour day, like 12-hour day. People are like, "Wow, that must be fun." I'm like, well, when they're asking you to smile like this, if your cheeks hurt, and they're like, "Hey, can you bring more energy?" You're like, "Okay, all right." I don't know how much I could give, but all right. It was so fun. I brought my boo. I brought my friend Jimmy because he does my videography stuff. And I was like, "You think I'm not going to bring you in here to like talk to all these people who do what you do? Are you crazy?" He got to talk to a bunch of folks. We got to meet like other people who are just trying to navigate, wanting to do music videos and whatnot. And the production company is just so awesome. They're very, very wholesome. I even, because of the commercial, that also boosted a lot of like my streams and people just messaging. Imagine I'm going through this tough time. People are like, "I saw your face on the commercials. Is there any way I could support? Can I buy a t-shirt?" And I was like, "I don't have a t-shirt right now."
Now that's dope. Like
That's dope.
When you see the direct effect of some of your hard work paying off, like that's major. You know what I mean? It keeps you moving. And that, I'm so glad you got to experience all that. You know, that sounds like such a cool time. Like that's awesome.
That was dope. Just because of a friend. That's why and it's crazy because her and I, like, we never got to do like a music piece together. We never really got to do a poem together because we were on the same poetry team. But imagine like, she just been there for even, she was the same person when I would have little concerts. You got to sell tickets. You'd be like, dang. She's like, "I'm going to be there. Even if I show up late, I'm going to get a ticket." Like, she was one of the people. So it's funny how sometimes people think that your work, you can't see anything. But sometimes your work, people are talking about you in a room. Like they're presenting your portfolio, your songs that you have up. Like for the commercial, they took clips from my Instagram. They were like, "Yeah, can you wear that dress again?" And
Oh wow.
do you still have that hair? Can you do your makeup just like that? Can you make it sound?
You still have that hair?
No, really, because I was like, yeah, it's a weird. They were like, can you bring it back? Do you think? Like, do you have another one that's Imagine it's just been, y'all know me, just me playing around on IG Live casually. We're just having a good time, and then being like, we love that. Can you give us more? I'm not thinking about a portfolio at the time when I do stuff. I'm just being me. So the fact that just putting yourself out there and seeing like people are advocating for you when you're not even in the room, that was awesome. That was crazy. That was amazing.
Yeah, that's what's up.
So you doing big things, man. I'm loving that, man. And now I feel like, you know what I'm saying, with the good, we got to transition to them bad decisions, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So
You know,
it's the naughtiness as you say it.
yeah. I'm just going off of what I was when I was reading your description about what you were saying, and it was saying situationships, and I was like, uh-oh. I was sensing like toxicity in the air when you was thinking about this.
Oh boy. If anything, it's like sometimes I make sure that I have a fine line for myself of how much I dip into just toxic conversations or toxic situationships. So I tried to make the song where it's kind of like Tony Braxton. It alludes sexy, but it's not truly giving sexy. And the same thing of toxicity, it alludes to it, but it's not completely diving into it. Because the way I wrote the lyrics, you could take it how you want. So it could mean that somebody is just having a really distant crush and it was just a one night stand they couldn't get over. Or it was somebody that they was truly messing with for a really long time and they're just like, I'm kind of stuck in my feelings. And you just, basically the phrase of bad decisions is just like, you make me want to do nasty things. You make me want to lie. You make me want to cheat. You make me want to steal. You make me want to do these crazy things just because I am so attracted to you, just because I like you. And I feel like everybody can resonate with that feeling. There's always that one person who you're like, damn, I go to jail for you. And you might not mean it. Just in that moment, you're like, damn.
I go to jail for you.
Like,
damn.
You're just like, damn. I just decided to do it because I was like, you know what? The beat is giving that. Let's give something a little naughty. I know So Deep. I got a lot of people who told me, I've been putting that on my romance playlist. And, I'll be chilling with my girl. I got that in the back. I said, that's cool. I'm like, that's cool. Let me give y'all one little lusty one. Let's keep it moving. But it's like I said, it's just however you take it. I know there's some people with unrequited love. They might just listen to the song and be like, that's me. That person will never notice me. But damn, are they so hot? So it's just however the shoe fits to try to make sure that. And also with just saying like he, him, and she, hers. We got people who's gay, we got people that's bi, we got people that's pan, people who don't take a gender. So this was my first time truly trying to make sure that I wrote in a way where everybody can see themselves. Because when we think about like sexy songs, we think about romance, sometimes it's very boy and girl. We don't really think about the other folks. And sometimes it's not even really subtle. Like people have to force it, and that's the way that they're pushing it. I decided to make it so general without having any pronouns. So everybody can see themselves and it's not so in your face. And I tried to make that very intentional for this time, which is hard because when I think of romance for songs, it's very boy and girl oriented. So that was something that it really means a lot to me because everybody has bad decisions, no matter who you are, where you're from. Everybody makes a little mistake.
QNW audio podcast available on Anchor. Follow us at We Are QNW.
April 7th, right around the corner. You know what I'm saying? You got some big plans for it. Like you think it's gonna get more streams than So Deep? Like what are you, is there anything you could talk about or you want to talk about?
I mean, like, we'll see. It's like it's not different, but we'll see. It's way stronger on the neo soul vibe. And especially, at least to me, it was giving more like new age neo soul, but sometimes it can be a hit or miss. But I mean, I have fun making the track, so I'm excited. I know that it's kind of a warm-up single. I'll be very frank. It's a warm-up single, so it's very much, we have other stuff coming. So it's like, let's see what happens. I'm excited for it. It's a chill vibe, I mean, on TikTok, it's getting a little bit of love, so we'll see. I'm trying to it's gonna be hard. I'm trying to run two campaigns at the same time. We're trying to do So Deep Transition Challenge, and then I'm trying to, with that momentum, try to build up for Bad Decisions. I'm thinking what I'd like to do is y'all can also submit to it as well. I want people in 3 sentences to tell me a story of their bad decisions.
Well, that's hard.
I'm thinking of like the top 3 stories, and I'm like, God damn. I'm gonna pay to get them animated so people can like actually have a visual behind the story, right? So I'm really excited. Next week I'm gonna be posting about it, asking for submissions. But I'm really excited, and the other thing is I'm keeping them anonymous, unless people want to like own up to it by all means. I'm gonna keep it anonymous, and I'll probably be sharing some of them because I've seen a couple people do that. But I was like, I feel like it matches this song, so it'd be cute. It'd be cute. Yeah. If anything, I feel like this song is way more about just interacting with community and interacting with fans as much as possible, especially with the story component of just how many people have made mistakes. So I'm excited about that. It'll be, I guess, like this song is my experimental baby of seeing how much I could get all of community to just connect and interact with each other. So I'm excited.
One thing that I'm sure Mo agrees with this as well. One thing I really enjoy about you is collaboration. Like you're very collaborative. You're not afraid to work with others, put yourself out there, you know what I'm saying, express yourself, you know, in all different forms of art, you know what I'm saying? Have you always been like that, open to trying the new things, you know, instantly, or like it took you a while, like social, but you know what I'm saying? Or you just been a natural social butterfly?
That's a good question. Well, I was speaking with my father the other day, and he was like, you're one of those people where you just naturally want to try it. I used to say when I was younger, I said it for years. Now I'm still trying to bring it back, which is I don't want to live by fear. So if something makes my stomach tight, I'm going to do it. Because it sounds like I need to do it, so I'm not afraid. Have I had some crazy situations? Yeah, but at least I got to try it. I can't say I didn't. And that's one thing I think about in the future. Like, it doesn't matter if something flops, it does well. At least I freaking did it. Because I believe you shouldn't be afraid. And that's including like working with people. I find working with people has helped me grow, which is why I'm kind of upset because it's like the pandemic made me feel weird. Although I do enjoy working with people virtually, it's a total different vibe in person, especially, for example, like performing. Having other people on stage with you, you get the energy of the MC, you get the energy of the crowd. It's totally different. It like pushes you to another level. Versus like virtually. But I enjoy collaboration for the fact that it allows you to grow, connect with people. And I only work with people I like.
I like that. We definitely have to do something for real.
Yeah. No, I trust me.
I think us on the stage would kill it.
No, that's
because we already do it separately, but together, no, that's unstoppable.
Wait till I book my ticket to Texas. You just wait. Just wait.
Hey, pull up.
So you agree. Our first guest on this 2022 podcast was Loretta's Only, and he said something that I loved. I'm not afraid to failure. I can accept failure, but I cannot accept failure without trying.
That part. Yes.
And that's yes. What you were talking about. And it's powerful when people can change the mindset and understand that if you want to have success, you have to accept failure.
Yeah. I mean, that's the only way you're going to grow. Because the other thing is like, I did a song that was really great. And I was miserable when I was trying to push it. So this time is a totally different ball game. So it's also like taking from the wins, where can you also get better? So it's like, even when you fail, you have so much to learn from. I don't even call it a failure too, because like I said, as a musician, you building a portfolio. It don't matter. I've gotten commissioned off of songs that were no type of mixing, no nothing. It was just me playing in my room with a voice memo. And they were like, hey, can you perform for like $500? We'll invite you over. somebody's flop could be another person's success, and you never
Yes,
know. So
sir.
it's kind of like as long as you are putting yourself out there, and it's also like people's careers can span for forever. You never know when you're really gonna hit that point where you're like, dang, I really, really made it. Some people looking at me like, oh my God, you made it. I'm like, to my terms, not really. I know I could go a lot harder. I know I could give a lot more. So it's just imagine like the real musicians you need to watch out for are the ones with the 5 year plan. You got to treat it like it's a real corporate job. What's the 5 year plan? How are you going to build up the ladder? Those are the people you should be scared of because they're constantly learning every day. There are no L's. There's no time for L's. Everything is a W because you're learning and you're going and you're growing at the same time. So yeah, yeah.
I love that you said that, man. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what I was talking to my dad about earlier. You know, I was like, I'm thinking 5 years ahead, like no cap, like. And he was like, man, you need to focus on right now, like, because all you have is right now. You can build up to 5 years, you know what I'm saying? But you need to focus on how you're going to get through the day so you can move towards the next day, which is, you know, tomorrow. Because none of us are promised tomorrow. Like, I know it's obvious, but it has to be said because I feel like at times, sometimes I feel like I can live forever. But then, you know, I know it's not true. But my music will. You know, this podcast will. You know, anything that I touch, I feel like it'll last forever. And I feel like that's the impact that you have on your fans, on the people that watch you. You impacted us. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you gave me a Missy Elliott vibe on that, How You Feeling. Like, I got a Missy Elliott vibe. I was like, you know what I'm saying? It made me start listening to Missy Elliott. I went through all her albums. I was just like, shit. I was like, damn, Missy Elliott really changed the game. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, definitely.
And y'all want to know something? Missy Elliott never recorded with Timbaland in the same room, or Timbaland never recorded. Like, Missy Elliott did it her own way. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm sure she probably had like a ritual that she did. Like, she could probably go crazy in that moment.
She was one of the few, and still one of the few, women producers out there. That's the main reason why I was selfish. I just wanted to rap on my own track for Missy. There's not too many people. Like, there's not a lot of women who are able to get that kind of recognition and pull together like constant hits, work with amazing people, and be able to just compete. Like, you know, sometimes people try to make a separate lane. Like, nah, when we talk about hip hop, you have to bring her up. When you talk about innovation of music videos, that's why I had to do the little like the garbage bag. Come on, like,
she's a super producer. She ain't no producer. She's a super producer. There's like
that woman.
Period. You know what I'm saying?
She's amazing, and the fact that in the earlier days of her career, even men artists, they had afraid to be on stage with her.
Hey, it is what it is, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we know she take over stages. Like, she got that on lock. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing we can do about that. Shit. I get a song with Missy Elliott. Bree get a song with Missy Elliott. We're going to do what we got to do. You know what I'm saying?
Listen,
it's Missy Elliott.
Yeah, she collaborated with this other artist that reminds me of her a bit. She's very different, Bree Runway. And it was so funny because Missy Elliott's personality, she never holds back. Like, that's why I'm kind of like, she's always been an innovator. Like, even she's also a singer. Like, she would do her own background vocals. Like, come on, off of that alone, you're like, you really have to respect her, even if you don't know anything about her. That guy says she's a singer. She's a rapper and she's a solid producer. Plus, she could help creative direct. You have to give her a props. And it was crazy to hear like her and this girl on the track. I was like, you could tell like that's her daughter. Like, that's not her daughter, but you could tell how much of her influence is on people. She's phenomenal.
She's been in the game for years. You know what I'm saying? Going on 30 years.
Yep. That's the type of longevity. Yeah. The type of longevity people want. You gotta put the work in though, because she's been here for a long time. Even though like he's kind of crazy right now. Even Kanye, he's been here for a long time. Jay-Z been here for a long time. Beyonce been here for a long time. Snoop Dogg, Dre, Eminem been here for a long time.
Wiz Khalifa.
But it's different.
Yep.
Wiz Khalifa, I admire that guy because he did it by himself.
Right. Did it with him and his team.
He is the real example of being an independent artist, period. Everybody was telling him that you will not succeed, and he showed everybody wrong.
Sure. Well, I feel like you can't mention Wiz Khalifa without Currency. Personally, that's how I feel. You can't mention Wiz without Currency because Wiz sound just like Currency.
They do sound alike.
Wiz sound just like him. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no way around it. But Wiz is hard. Like, don't get me wrong. Yeah. But you can't mention Wiz without Spitter. You know what I'm saying? Spitter and Andretti. People don't want to bring him up, but what can you say? Spitter and Andretti. Yeah, Bree.
That's true.
Charlie, did you have anything to ask, man?
Charlie is
actually, I think all the questions I had, I think we got covered in mine. But if y'all have some, I might think of one more. If y'all have some in the meantime,
I was thinking about the bread and butter. I feel like obviously you're a musician. Yeah. You're a musician, Brianna. I want to know. The whole team wants to know if you could do a song with 3 artists, dead or alive, who would they be?
Ooh, well. Oh, wow. That's crazy. All right. With a live session, Robert Glasper. He has a way. Robert Glasper, Terrace Martin, because they have a way of just putting jazz, neo soul, contemporary R&B all together in this magical way that you always want to listen to. Like it never grows old. There's always, especially as a musician who's played instruments, who could read music, there's always some type of ear candy. And whether it's from the vocalist, it's from people playing the instruments, there's always something new to look at. I also love the way that they approach songwriting too. It reminds me of just growing up with like Jill Scott, Erykah Badu. Like you can have all the metaphors, you could tell the story, or there is no story like D'Angelo. It's just like, this is what it is. I'm in love, or like, I'm not in love, and let me present it to you and all the feelings that I have. I love that delivery. Those two. And I would have to say one of my dream people is Victoria Monet. She is phenomenal. It's crazy because she's been a co-writer with like Ariana Grande for so long, and now it's like finally we're giving her flowers. Because I'm not saying Ari's not a strong writer. All I'm saying is I can't think of Ari without Victoria now, and now Victoria is making her own lane, and she's been really pushing it by herself. Like, she's phenomenal at the way she approaches writing and very playful. And even then, it's like, she could be sexual because she talks about it from this very liberating experience, but also her wordplay. Like, she has this song called Jaguar. And you can already imagine what that's about. And she's playing upon that the entire time. She has literally a song, it's supposed to be a whole cuss word, F-U-C-K, Friends You Can Keep. Come on. Come on. Who else do you know, especially in R&B, is coming with that? Because again, R&B is very like, here it is. And Victoria's like, I'm going to play around with it a little bit. And as a performer, she's phenomenal. I've been obsessed with her for like, it's going to be like 6-7 years going on from the moment. And also she likes to bring back older sounds. The same way that everybody loves Silk Sonic. Victoria been doing it for a minute. And there's this song called New Love. No, for real. I do love Silk Sonic. Ain't no shade. But there's a lot of artists who are doing it before them. It's just that Silk Sonic was able to have a label pushing with them. Let's be real. Yeah. A lot of people don't get that kind of budget. When you have that budget, any song you got, it could be terrible, it could be the best. Everybody's going to hear it because you have the budget to push it. But like, she has a song where she put New Jack Swing production behind it. You don't get to hear that a lot with R&B anymore. And it was so subtle, mixed with contemporary. I had to. After that, I said, just off of that choice of production alone, I had to get it there. I love her. It'd be amazing.
So you said Robert Glasper, Terrence Martin, and Victoria Monet.
Yes. Yes.
That'll be
If I could do special mention, my mother, Mary J. Blige, my mother, and other special mention like my auntie Lauryn Hill.
okay.
Yeah.
Indeed. Well, we'll just say it's a big song. This is a big record, I'm saying. Out in the
What?
world, No, I'm saying that would be a big record, what I'm saying.
Oh, bro, I could sit down and watch the show all day. I'm telling you.
That'd be a legendary lineup. That'd be crazy.
Bro, yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of people I would also like to just sit and learn from, like of vocal performance, Jasmine Sullivan. I'd love to just sit down with her and ask her thought process. Like the way that she just gives notes, like it's just floating on air. I'd love to ask her how that goes. I'd love to speak with JID. I feel like he is the most playful lyricist out there currently. Like, and it's weird to say that, especially as like just a vocalist, but hearing him with how playful he is, I'd love to see where his mind goes because he's very, very creative. There's a lot of people who, or even production style, Timbaland. I'd love to sit with him and ask what his thought process was, especially with a lot of hits because he's very different. He's always ahead. I always like to just think him and Missy have always been ahead of the game, and people just started catching up. And I feel the two to sit down and listen to him. I actually got in contact with one of his mentees. I'm just interested in just picking his brain and just figuring that out because producers think so differently from songwriters and vocalists. Like you hear things the same way a lyricist is going to hear things differently. Like I feel like rappers, it's just rhythm and I don't know. We all have just different brains. It's awesome to think of.
Here's the deal with working with the producer. A real producer is gonna listen to you, is gonna read the lyrics, understand what's the message, and trying to visualize the final product. And I remember a few time ago, I was saying and I keep saying this, people are tired to go and see someone performing with the song on the back, not having a real band playing the instruments, playing the drums, guitars, wherever on stage. And the day I said this, somebody told me, oh, you know that Eminem's going to be performing the 8 Mile soundtrack on MTV. And I was like, yeah, and I hope he brings people to play the song. And he did. So this is the difference between an artist and being on a place as a producer, as someone who can actually understand how to connect the message with the people. And this is an advice for all new independent artists. You have to accept when a producer tells you that you have to change something on the song, because that is the way we feel that's going to be connecting with the audience. And that's why sometimes it's hard to listen a producer. Not every producer going to tell you the words that you want to listen. They're going to tell you what you need to do to get better on that song.
Yeah.
Yes. It's just a different ear. Sometimes a vocalist could listen to a track 10 million times and have different critiques than somebody who's a producer and somebody who's a rapper. I love when rappers listen to R&B because I get to see what you really think. I get to see how can a song make you feel vulnerable. And if it can make the toughest, grittiest person be like, nah, man, I was tearing up with that. Or somebody's just, I don't know, just singing it in the car, yelling. That means you did an amazing job. Because if you could reach that audience, then you could reach everybody.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Respect.
Yeah.
Yeah, R&B is very, very meaningful to me. It holds a special place, what I'm saying, in my heart. R&B ain't going nowhere.
Period.
I don't think it's going nowhere. It might not ever be the same, but that's fine. It's not supposed to be.
Evolution.
You know what I'm saying? If you really want to listen to it, go listen to it.
Oh, definitely.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody telling you not to do it. So.
Yeah, it always gets weird because some people will tell you that R&B is supposed to be dead, and I'm like, no, it's not. I got so
We
mad. I was on Twitter and like I saw a couple people saying R&B is dead. People can't find songs to sing along to. You're just lazy. Just say that you're
right,
lazy. We are out here
right,
posting the music. We
The
don't have
fact,
the $50 million budget. Like, just come and listen to the
right.
song.
the fact is, trap music and drill. Now people are talking about trap and the grime and drill. This being a long time on the game. Uh, Chicago grime.
Mm-hmm.
It's what we call today the drill, and it's been on the game for a lot of years. But like you said, you need the budget. You need the budget to put it out there. And R&B, it's something that's going to be live forever.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
people
So
really love
so
R&B, they're gonna still listen R&B.
yeah, yeah. But teachers on art is
I
subjective.
feel
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah,
say that like there's some hip hop songs, there's some trap songs I think we'll literally be singing with like our kids. Like I
yeah,
feel
yeah.
like
Without a doubt.
especially yeah, no, I feel like it's all about that's why it feels weird when people are like a song sucks. It's hard to say that because for somebody those words meant a whole bunch to them. Like for somebody that
Memories,
situation,
memories.
yes, like it made
Fond
them feel
memories.
something.
I,
Yeah, yeah.
man, you cool, man. Let me ask you a question outside of this. You don't smoke, do you?
Dang for my whole government. I do a little bit. I'm not supposed to though because I'm a singer.
Uh,
I like to chew more than smoke.
okay, okay. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, to each his own. Everybody got a vice.
I mean, like, if anything, it's funny. I'm really a control freak when it comes to performing. I won't even let. There's no such thing as dairy on the 2 days before I have to perform. There's no such thing as sweets. There's no such thing
Mm.
as like, oh, like it's gonna be really cold in the room. None of that. I'm super duper like. There's no way. Like I have to have optimal performance. I'm not a smoker before
Oh,
I perform or when I'm on the stage. I'm not a drinker when I'm on the stage and before I gotta go. I'm very much a super duper square. I'm a square. Even I just started like as of recently, like started just letting myself drink a little bit before I like start writing or recording because I found it
mm.
to be very different. But for like performances, no, I'm a straight edge. But I think it's mostly because I just want to feel it. I used to have where my anxiety was so bad. Oh, I perform, it'd be great. But I couldn't remember it because my body was in just a state of panic. And it's weird
Oh,
because
wow.
people would look at me and be like, oh, wow, I didn't notice that. I'm like, yeah, because my brain shut down. It just did what it practiced for so long. But now I
Yeah.
like to actually like actively be there. So I'm completely sober. But to each his own. I know some people who have fun. I have like literally a friend of mine. He's in Georgia right now. He'd always have a cup in his hand before he's about to spit, before he freestyles. And it's always, as soon as he picks up the cup, we all know it's going to be a good time. So to each his own 100%. But I like to occasionally dibble and dabble. We all got to celebrate something. So,
Yeah, man. We out here. Hey, Mo, you got anything to fill in or
Yeah,
anything to ask?
yeah. The second question of bread and butter is if you could have a song for a movie or a TV show. Yeah, what's your choice?
ooh, wow, that's tough. That's tough. That's tough. That's tough. Well, I'm mad that I missed the opportunity and I didn't push myself to do it enough. But I wish that I pitched one of my songs for "Insecure" by Issa Rae. I
Mm.
feel like definitely would be fitting. But I'm trying to think of current movies as of recently. Wow, it's hard. That's really hard. Dang, that's hard. I'm usually very prepared for questions. I'm really having to think right now. Hmm.
That's why we call it bread and butter.
Yeah, it's genuine. Like the fact that I have to think on the spot is very genuine. Um, hmm. Wow. 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 Okay. Well, if I could give of, I guess, Oh, wow. All right. I'm about to nerd out a little bit. I am super duper duper into cartoons.
Okay.
I really love adult animation. It's one of my favorite things. If I
Mm.
could go like back in time and stop the TV show from ending, I definitely would have put a song on. There's a TV show with the main character is a horse, BoJack Horseman. I would have loved for one of my
Oh,
songs.
wow.
I would have loved for one of my songs to be on there. In fact, if they would have just asked me to be in the background to just like act like one of the birds and say something, I would be so hyped. That's one of my
Wow.
favorite TV shows. I love adult animation. I would have definitely enjoyed that. And
That's
also, dang, I'm trying to think of like just a movie. My favorite movie is Dreamgirls, so it's like it's hard. It's hard for me to place one of my songs on there.
mm,
Any, I guess a rom com. Oh, Love Jones. I wish I could go back in time.
mm,
I wish I could go back in time and make a song for Love Jones. That's it.
so
Black
Love
rom
Jones.
coms are my sweet spot. Yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
that's hard.
Yeah, but
That's
of current stuff, yeah, definitely adult animation. Also, because of like,
BoJack Horseman.
yeah, yeah.
That's
I
so
want
wild.
I wanted to say like Euphoria, but it's like I don't know how I'd fit. I just like to be there in the background. That's the other thing. Sometimes I be in my composer bag. I just want to make something for the background, something for the girls to just chill out with.
You should. You know what? You know what I think? You should try to be one of the singers for Hercules.
Oh my, that would be fun.
Man,
Oh, yeah.
I love them. They're
yeah,
really cute.
you should go for it. I think you should go for it.
Definitely.
You know they're gonna bring. Like let's go ahead and do a Hercules live action. Go ahead, show them the portfolio. Zoji approved. You know what I'm saying? QNW approved. You gonna get
Yes,
it.
sir.
That'd be
I would love.
nice.
I would love to see you on a show like Empire.
Yes.
Mm,
Yes. Empire,
that's
yes. They
lit.
had, was it Star? If I could think of the other one. There was Empire and there was another one where it was supposed to be three girls. I don't know if it was Star. It's not Power. I can't remember the name of it. But that was another one. They cut it off, but that was pretty good. No, definitely. That would be dope. I wish. Actually, I know one person who he got the artist I talked about, Cam the Artisan.
Oh, Ken Anderson.
He had one of his songs on Empire. I
What?
was like, like, okay, all right. That's
Man, that's great. Oh, that's
Imagine Brianna being on the show being the daughter of Cookie.
that'd be crazy. I have to be the distant daughter, like the one that's just really mad at her, but decides to come back because I kind of miss her. I miss the music business and stuff, but she was just she was doing too much for me. Yeah,
you had to follow your own path.
Yeah,
Check this out, Brianna. Man, I wish we could talk to you forever. Well,
Yes,
I want to say thank you so much for coming on and dropping some game. We want to know where the people can find you.
Yeah, so if you are interested in knowing more about me and hearing my sound, you can find me. If you'd like to know more stuff about me, you can follow my Instagram and my Twitter at Poet Dreaming. Also my TikTok, Poet Dreaming. No underscores, no threes, no twos, no none of that. It's just Poet Dreaming. And if you're interested in my music, it goes by my government, Brianna Knight. That's BriannaKnight. You can find me on Spotify, SoundCloud, AudioMac, Quadio, Apple Music, iTunes, and Tidal. Yeah.
And more streaming platforms. Trust me, she's everywhere.
I'm trying to explore. Gotta explore because everybody wants to listen to music. You can find me on Bandcamp too. If you'd really like to pay my bills, you could buy the songs or hit my PayPal.
For real. Y'all make sure to follow the group page. We are QNW. I am the host, Body Bag Zoe. And go by Zoji. You can follow Mirage Beats at Mo_Rays_Beats with a Z at the end. And Charlie Pockets at Charlie.Pockets. Brianna, you're more than welcome to come back whenever you want to, all right?
Thanks.
Thank you so much for your time.